to collaborate together. And now, their respective football programs are being guided by two Eagles greats, DeSean Jackson and Michael Vick, who are obviously both here with us today. Together, these two legends produced some amazing moments that will forever be a part of certainly our team's history. With a seemingly flick of the wrist on the opening play on Monday Night Football in Washington, the 88-yard passing touchdown to DeSean from Michael, followed by a few weeks later in the 91-yard touchdown pass in a statement game on the road at Dallas. And of course, the memorable punt return for sure up in New York, where with a little extra drama with the drop before he took off for the end zone. We look forward to them seeing them compete against one another in some respects, but they have a brotherhood and a relationship that goes deeper than that. We're excited for them as first-year head coaches to sort of meet each other on our field where they delighted Eagles fans and teammates for years. It's an honor for us to host them, their players, their schools, their fans at our stadium. I just would like to take a moment to recognize Frank Gumieni, our Chief Operating Officer. He's been the lead for the Philadelphia Eagles with Delaware State, Norfolk State, with DeSean and Michael in making this game happen. He's also been the lead with the city of Philadelphia and their tremendous support of the game. Mayor Parker and the entire city administration has been fully supportive, not only of this event, but they've fully supportive of all the events, world-class events that we've brought to Lincoln Financial Field. And we're thankful for that support, and we're pleased to have their support for this game in October. Before I introduce Giselle Jones, I'd also like to first introduce Governor Meyer from Delaware. He also has been a supporter of this event, and he's here with us today, and I know he'd like to say a few remarks. Governor?
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good morning. I'm just here to say thank you, first and foremost, to Don, Frank, Mr. Lurie, the whole Eagles team. Thank you for doing this. This is historic for the MEAC Conference in their 55th year. It's historic for the people of Delaware and the people of Virginia, in addition to Norfolk State University and the great Delaware State University. I just want to encourage people to come out. We're hoping this will be, hope you don't mind, the first annual HBCU Classic at Lincoln Financial Field. To do that, we need people to come out and support this extraordinary event. You mentioned Mayor Parker, and I did want to highlight her tremendous support for this event, making sure that thousands and thousands of Philadelphia young people can come out not just to see a football game, not just to see these two fine young men as leaders and coaches and teachers, but also to get a little bit of that HBCU flavor, to understand, maybe ask a few questions about what is a historically black college and university, and hopefully a few of them to say, this is an experience I want to have one day. So thank you very much for all the support. This is an extraordinary opportunity for a community to come together, and don't forget, when you go down to Delaware, there's a little bit less humidity. Thank you.
Thanks, Governor. Thank you, Governor. Now I'd like to, the Mayor Parker was scheduled to be with us this morning. Unfortunately, her commitments did not allow her to be here, so I know she's very disappointed because she's very excited for this event and very passionate about the success of this event. And so, but we have Giselle Jones with us, the city representative, who is going to say a few remarks on behalf of the city of Philadelphia.
Thank you. All righty. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Don. Thank you, everyone. I am truly excited to be here today on behalf of Mayor Sherrell L. Parker. I don't think there is a person in our city more thrilled about this event than Mayor Parker. I want to thank Don and Frank and the entire Eagles organization for providing this platform to showcase the rivalry clash between the Delaware State Hornets and the Norfolk State Spartans. This is about to be a HBCU classic, one that we hope Philadelphia will host forever and a day. Our mayor is all in. She's in our planning meetings. She's fully engaged. She's a HBCU grad herself, and she is bringing her passion, and you know how big her passion is, and infectious energy to this process. She knows this is going to be a successful event, but we don't want to have it just once. We want this to become a tradition for Philadelphia here at the Link, returning year after year, celebrating and uplifting the HBCU institutions and communities. The city is in your corner, and we are fully supportive, and we are ready to champion every step of the way. Our city is no stranger to hosting world-class events, and this game is going to be on and lit on October the 30th with no exception. This is a world-class stage for two incredible teams to not only showcase their grit and talent, but to provide these student athletes with incredible networking opportunities that will inspire, empower, and help shape their future. I just want to say, I don't know who I'm rooting for just yet, but I know where I'll be on October 30th. So now it is my absolute honor to introduce the two Philadelphia legends who are making this all possible, and they are our former teammates and now first-year Division I football head coaches, and they are DeSean Jackson and Michael Vick. Welcome.
Hope y'all see how I'm coming. Hope y'all see how I'm coming.
He ain't dressed like.
Y'all see how I'm coming.
He ain't dressed like that right now. What is that, by the way?
The Don bobblehead.
Good afternoon.
Yep. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being here. Open for any questions.
So how did this battle come about?
He just called up talking trash. DeSean hit me up and just thought, asked me what I thought about it. Instantly I just thought about, how much it would take to get this done. But from the time he called me to up until now, it got done very quickly. And I think it's the best thing for both schools. It's a great opportunity for us. Like I say, I want to thank, the Philadelphia Eagles, Jeffrey Lurie, Frank, Dom, people behind the scenes that made it happen, and obviously D-Jack, who planted the seed initially. I'll let him speak to that.
What's it like being first time head coach?
A lot of surprises. I think for me, it's been a great opportunity, man, to be able to be in the seat and controlling a full university. For me, I would have never envisioned it to be what it is. Every day I wake up, I'm excited to put feet on the floor, to go out and see what the challenge of the day brings. But to say you're a head coach of the University of Division I, Delaware State University, the past few years has been a struggle for the Hornets. So, since day one when I came in there, I said I had to address the culture. I had to get the right kind of guys in there. And for me, it's all about discipline. It's about a mindset. At the end of the day, everybody's not going to be fortunate enough to make it to the NFL. So to be able to say you can get guys to walk across that stage and get a degree, a diploma, is what I want to instill out of these young men. But football is a game, a sport that we all have an opportunity to play, and it's not guaranteed. In a snap of a finger, anything can happen. So if them guys have those degrees, that paper is, holds a lot more weight than anything you could do on this football field.
Football is in our blood. Mentorship, I think, is in our blood. Leadership, creating men of character. That's all we was taught, from the age of 7 up until now, so to speak, when I'm speaking it every day. You know, we had coaches who poured into us, and then, you know, as players, you think back to, you know, how you got to this point. And then you start thinking about all the people who poured into your life and, you know, all the mentorship that you had and the people that really cared. And, you know, we got an opportunity to reciprocate that. And so, you know, it's a lot of things that we could be doing, but we chose to go down this route. And, you know, we know the sacrifice that it takes. We know that we laying it all out in the line, but, you know, it's not a failure if you don't try. You know, so, you know, we can't fail. You know, only thing we can do is go up, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, man, without DeSean's success, our success wouldn't even be presented to us. So, you know, first and foremost, when I had an opportunity to be in this role and in this seat, you know, I reached out to him because, for me, I never thought I would be a coach. I'm just gonna be real. Like all those years I played, I seen how much time the coaches spent in the buildings, after practice, meetings. So for me, that was scarceful to me. I said, when I'm done with football, I don't want to be nowhere in the building that long, right? So now to be in the seat, I was curious to see, like, what type of coach would I be? So I had to ask my mentors. I had to ask guys like Andy Reid. I had to pick up the phone and humble myself, because when you got the opportunity in life, I mean, the way we was raised and the way we grew up, I mean, we feel like we could be successful in anything. But, you know, the thing is, we never done this before. And people ask, why would you go hire Michael Vick or DeSean Jackson, right? So with anything in life, you have to go through it to have experience, right? So now we're at this stage now, and what Deion's did at Jackson State and obviously what he's doing at Colorado State now is open up doors for guys like me and Coach Vick. So, you know, no shoe is too big to fill, man. I'm excited. I know the journey. I know it's going to come with a lot of trials and tribulations, but, you know, no one person is perfect. You know what I'm saying? The best of the best is not perfect. So we have to allow ourselves for those mistakes, but, you know, in those mistakes, we got to correct them. And every day we step up to this challenge. We're just going to correct them and get better as we go.
I always wanted to coach. I've been coaching my daughter in flag football for the last 10 years. Doing football camp since, you know, I first came into the National Football League. Always wanted to mentor a quarterback or help a quarterback on a journey. And every time I have a camp, when I leave, you know, I feel bad when the kid has to go on and get other coaching. And it was always in me to be with a guy or be with a group of young men to develop them, see how they transition over a 3-month period, a 6-month period, a 12-month period. And, you know, now when, you know, our amazing president, Dr. J. A.D. Webb, our athletic director, reached out. It didn't take long. I knew it was on my heart. I knew it was something that I wanted to do. Couldn't make the decision right on the spot. But, you know, with the right leadership, the right conversations, and the will to do it, you know, I felt like it was the right thing to do in the right time. So I always knew I would get into coaching. It was just a matter of when, and it came a couple years earlier than when I thought. But, you know, when I got the call, I truly felt like I was ready for it. So definitely have to thank them in this moment, Dr. J. A.D. Webb. Thank you for being here, A.D. Arnold. You know, thanks for giving me the opportunity, and hopefully, and I won't say hopefully, it will be a success.
Was crazy too. I was gonna say this before he ended, but when Mike Vick knew he was gonna be up for a head coaching job, you know, he reached out to me. The relationship we have is a real brotherhood, and we talk. Not every day, but we talk quite frankly, right? So when he was up for a job, it was a few jobs that his name was thrown in the hat there, right? And he reached out and he was like, I know you coach. And he said, what you doing? He said, man, if I get one of these jobs, you're going to be one of my first hires. So at the same time, I'm like, man, yeah, I would love to, right? And then within a week, I get a call from Delaware State, and this right when he took the Norfolk State job. So I was like, I was trying to limbo it because I didn't know if I was going to get the job or not, so I didn't really want to tell him because we in the same division, right, or the same conference. So it's crazy because a few weeks, like literally a week after he got his, then, you know, me and Delaware State, we locked in our deal. But it's just crazy because just knowing how much this dude pours into the youth. Like I know that about him. Like he really gives his all, and vice versa with me. Like the kids and the youth is something that we really pour into, and to have all the information and the knowledge we have, it would be selfish for us to not give back to these young men that's trying to go somewhere in life. So I think that's something that stands out. That's the character of men that you get when you talk about a DeSean Jackson and a Michael Vick. We're just here to pour into the youth and change their coaches and change their lives. Man, you know, the link gets crazy already. So now you got two legends. I mean, it's going to be hype, man. I think it's going to be a lot of conversations before the game, but during the game, we ain't gonna talk. It's gonna be heated because I know how he is and I know how I am. So it's gonna be a lot of energy.
Yeah, we both competitors and we gonna push our guys to the edge. You know, hopefully, you know, and in this moment, definitely don't want to overlook the opponents that we have coming up. We both got a game in 2 weeks on the 28th, so you know, got to be respectful to that. But when we cross that bridge on the 30th of October, you know, it's going to be very competitive, and that's what me and DeSean is. We've been in the huddle together. We know we came back in games together. We came out swinging and smoking in games together, and so, you know, this is an opportunity for us to really put what we've learned over the last, you know, year on display, and I would say this, you can expect to see us doing this for a long time. Just be yourself. You know, be yourself. Be you. Be who you are. Don't try to change anything. Put your flavor on it. Make it what you want it to be. Don't try to make it what you want or what other coaches, you know, wanted to look like, or, you know, if you get their advice, you know, you just kind of put your spin on it and just, you know, if you're going to be all in, you got to be all in. You know, it's no shortcuts in coaching, just like it's no shortcuts in professional sports or collegiate sports or high school sports or whatever sport you into. You gotta be all in, with not 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Man, it inspires me. You know, Mike came from a successful career that he was doing with the broadcasting. You know, I was talking to him. You know, while I was still playing, Mike used to always tell me, he said, I'm going to introduce you to the head people that make these decisions, because, you know, he wanted me to kind of come up under him, and I was looking for things to do after my career. So the communications was always open. You know, he was doing his thing at Fox and did a great job. And, you know, for him to transition to go into coaching that fast after him leaving Fox, I mean, I think it was hard for him to step away from Fox because, you know, they was taking care of him, and he had a good spotlight there. And, you know, to come into coaching now, I just know whatever he chooses to do, he's locked in 100%. And that's, like I said, that's what you get from guys like us. We're not 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Like, whenever we have our minds towards something, like, we're going to have the success. We both been doubted our whole lives growing up. That's where we came from, poverty. And at the end of the day, in my life, I know if I want something, you got to work hard to accomplish that. And, you know, we don't expect no handouts. Like I said, it's going to come with fails and it's going to come with trials. So we just look forward to that. But one thing I would say, to go back to your question, when I reached out to Andy Reid, he said, man, don't change who you are. What allowed you to get this job was you being who you are. So like you know, Mike just said, be authentic. You know, the reason why I am who I am and I had such a great career in the NFL because I was authentic. I didn't try to be like nobody else. You know, I was raised how I was raised and I grew up how I grew up. But the biggest thing is you're gonna get everything. I'm not gonna not give my all to anything I'm doing at that time being. So being a coach now, you got to pour into it. You know, I brought my offensive defensive coordinator with me. I brought my assistant head coach, you know, shedding light on other individuals. You know, it's not only about my success. It's about aligning people to put, you know, around you to make you successful. And I feel like that's, in order for me to be successful, I have to align the people around me to be successful.
What does it mean for the city to embrace you in your programs, the way that celebrating this game and wanting to make this game?
Yeah, that's not surprising at all. The city of Philadelphia, despite the things that we did on the field, I think it was more so about, you know, what we did off the field. DeSean was always in the community doing outreach. I was always trying to do some form of outreach. And, you know, even though we had success on the field, we had a great time, you know, we was always thinking about giving back. And that was always a priority. And the people in this organization made it a priority. So, you know, Andy, you know, Howie, you know, Jeffrey, Dom, they instilled that in us and made sure we got to and from whatever we was doing. And so, to be on this platform right now, to be looking at the link where we practiced every day and knowing that we had to go into that stadium and, do battle together. Now we get to go in there and just, have a night where we'll reflect on it for years, remember the first time and, definitely remember the last time. But, man, life come around full circle, and I couldn't be more proud to be here with my brother.
Well, I mean, for me, it's the discipline. I think it's the accountability. It's the ownership, taking ownership, and every day you step on the field. The original standard is 1%. I challenge my guys a little more. Now it's 2%. We don't want to get 1% better. We want to get 2% better every day. So just holding your players accountable, letting them know any and everything we do, we're doing it for a reason. We're not just having them go out there and work hard. We're not asking them to be disciplined for no reason. Like, eventually it's going to come a point in time in their life or in a game in the fourth quarter where you're going to need the principles that we're installing in these young men. So for me, it's just really having them understand that. And sometimes you got to be uncomfortable, because when you're comfortable, anybody could do great when you're comfortable, right? What are you going to do when you're uncomfortable? What are you going to do when it's hot, when you're tired, when you're hurting? Those are the conditions we look for in players to pushing them through their maximum potential. So, in closing, I always got to shout out to the people that made it successful for me, and I think, a lot of people give credit to him, but Dom really, he helped me out tremendously while I've been here, and as well, Howie as well, too. Mr. Laurie, the support here, man, like, you can't go forgotten that the people while you was here, took care of you and made things possible. And I could have probably been out the league and gone about a lot of scenarios and situations, but, to have guys like that to have your back, and I'm sure Mike could say the same things, like having people in your life, and like now we're in a position where, somebody makes a mistake or somebody gets in trouble, don't be so quick to turn your back on people. It's okay to give people second chances in life. Like, no one's perfect, and at the end of the day, you got to sometimes fail and mess up to get things right. So I just kind of wanted to say that in closing.
Yeah, and go get your big Don bobbleheads. It's kind of cute.
Bobble. The drip is real, man. Y'all see it. But no, honestly, man, October 30th is going to be huge. I think this is going to be something we want to do for a Classic year in and year out. This year, you see I'm suited like this for a reason. We're the home team, so he's going to go in the visitor locker room. We're going to put him on the other side. We're not going to really treat him as
I had a suit on next year.
He'll have the suit, and I'm going to look like the coach next year. Not for real, but we got to get the word out, man. October 30th, man, it's going to be huge, man. So get everybody to come out. Hopefully y'all can come support. The kids, everybody come out, man. It's going to be a life changer.
Good work, bro.
Yes, sir.
Bro. Like,
Yep.
We gotta talk to you to get a bobblehead.
My boy Dave. My boy Dave.
Can you have the back row send me over? Yep.